All right, so I just want to make a video on this knife I made. I did do 2 shorts, but I want to do an actual proper video. And I'm going to just talk about it, do some close-ups, talk about the sheath a little bit. It was a bit of a struggle. And then I'm going to cut some stuff in the end. Nothing crazy, just like water bottles and stuff like that. But this has a very nice weight to it. I want to see if I can translate how well this thing cuts just by cutting a few things on video. All right, so to start, let me just show you. I'll talk about the dimensions and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go over what it's made out of and things like that in case you haven't seen the other videos. The handle is 5 inches long. The wood is birch wood. It's stabilized birch wood. The blue is G10. The red is micarta. The steel itself is CPM 3V. It's professionally heat treated by Peter's Heat Treatment. The pins are titanium. This pin on this side is brass, and the other side it is copper. So the wood itself came out really nice. I like all the details. It is burl. I do not like that spot, this spot right here. I'll tell you why in a second. But you can see here, see this, the dark areas. It's very similar to this, very similar to that. But just how abrupt it is, it looks like I burned it with a belt sander. So when you are working on something that is wood, especially if it's light colored wood, or even paper micarta, you have to make sure that you don't run it too fast. You don't run the belt too fast. You don't let the belt wear out, or you don't use a really high grit for a belt, or else it will burn the wood. And this is not it, because I made sure, and I stopped. I did not use a belt at this depth. So this was all done basically afterwards with I have a, what's that thing called? There's a sandpaper and stuff like that, but there's another tool I use, and so I know that is not a burnt mark, but it looks like it to me a lot, which I don't like, or whatever. Besides all this stuff, it does have a hand guard. It has 2 hand guards in a sense. There's this one to keep my hand from going forward, and there's this disc to keep knives or whatever from stopping stuff going down into my hand. The disc itself is made out of titanium. It is grade 5 titanium, I believe. It is a 1/4 inch thick, same thickness as the blade itself. This is actually looks thicker than that. It's slightly thicker than a 1/4, I guess, because the blade is a 1/4. And I ground it to look like the world. So I ground the continents on there. I anodized it also, so I can get the color blue for the water, and then I can also get like that brownish, purplish color for the land. The way I did that was I made everything blue first, because it's a much higher voltage, and then I sanded the high spots, which was the land, and then anodized it again. So I would get that contrasting color. The original idea was to make this disc out of brass. I wanted something that was relatively small. The blade itself is actually, it's a 6.5 inches long, but I wanted to have some weight to it so I can actually, so it would hit hard, basically. I wanted mass. Brass turned out to be too much mass. It would have been way too heavy, so I went with titanium, and titanium gave me all these other things I could do with it, like anodizing and stuff like that. Instead of just blackening it, that's something you can do with brass. So the blade it's an upswept design. It is tapered from the plunge line on, so 1/4 inch, and then constantly tapered all the way to the tip. And the weight on this is very nice. Not just the weight, but also the distribution. I mean, the balance. And the balance point is right here, right in this little edge. I don't know if I'm going to be able to balance it on there. Just on my finger. Okay, just trust me that it's there, okay? Believe me that it's there. So it feels really nice. This whole handle is shaped in a way so that the way I like to cut is basically doing a snap cut, but in a swing. So I'm gonna try to show you that when I do cut bottles. So what I mean is I'm gonna swing the knife and do a snap cut at the end. So it's not just gonna be like a jab. It should be like an extension of my arm, like a whip, like an extension of my arm, and then a jab in the end. Once I get to the whatever I want to hit, and this is designed to do that in the sense that all the swells and all that stuff are done, so I can hold it like this in a pistol grip. So I can do this with it, like that. Okay. And the sheath is basically, it was a pain because of how wide that disc is. It retains it well. There's so many times I had to mess with it so much. This thing there's a few times this Kydex sheath had a death grip on this knife. And I could not get it to just come apart, whatever. So this little cutout was done so that the lips of the opening can flex, even though it's a minimal flex. So I can actually do this, so I can actually get the knife out. So this is open, this is open. The main problem I had was heating this up enough so I can get this contour, so I can get this to actually flex enough. I obviously did not heat one side enough. What happened was one side was heated more than the other. I pressed it, and then I got this like weird, see, this weird bend to it. You can see it way more. See this right here in the back. So see, this side is like a quarter inch away almost from the spine. Here's the spine, and this side is like perfect almost. So yeah, but besides that, these two are, so I can if I want to have it as a neck knife, which seems crazy dangerous, but whatever. I wanted the option. And here, I usually, what I do with an upswept knife is, I used to do this, is I would just have the knife right as far as I could up close to the spine of the Kydex sheath. I decided this time to keep it a distance away so that I can actually, well, here's the problem. So when you do have an upswept knife and you put it in a sheath, it is very easy to poke the spine of the sheath. So after a certain amount of time, what will happen is you'll create weak points, and I'm afraid, I was afraid that the tip would come out. So what I decided to try, and this is the first time trying it, is to leave a big flat spot and see where the tip is. The very tip of this knife, when it's in the sheath, is about probably almost half an inch, a little bit less, away from the spine of the Kydex sheath. So what happens is, and it actually worked out, this goes in, and here the Kydex is basically touching. So it touches, it gets sandwiched in that Kydex sheath, and it prevents it from going all the way and jabbing a hole in the spine of the Kydex sheath. I've had that problem. I haven't had a hole, and it wouldn't happen after like a year. It'd have to probably be years of use for it to actually make a hole. But I just wanted to find a solution to that problem, even though it's not a huge problem. So yeah, okay. So there it is. You can see the world. That's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to see the world when I did the sheath, and I wanted to be able to see. No, it's gone. Whatever. Oh, there it is. No, wait. No. I used to be able to see. Oops. It would say Kydex USA, Kydex T USA, and if it has the wording, if I get a piece of the Kydex that has some of the imprint and it's close to the edge, I like to be able to see it, and I was able to see it, but now it's gone. Whatever. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna cut some stuff. Let me show you how sharp this thing is in a second. Okay, so I did get the paper, and let me actually change the angle on this camera, but first, thought of something. See if it actually still goes blade up. And yes, it does. If I put it down, and yeah, it still does it. All right. Now for the paper cut test. Yep. So yeah, it's sharp. Here's shaving. So it is shaving sharp too. Yeah, so I didn't really I was trying not to put that much pressure on it, but yeah, it does it pretty easily. All right, so that's the sharpness I'm starting off with. I'm working with, and I'm gonna try to get things here where it's thinner. Okay, let's start. Okay, so here's the setup. I'm gonna put a water bottle, an empty water bottle here, and then I'm gonna chop it. I'm gonna have to do it kind of quick because any like breeze is gonna just blow the water bottle down. I'm gonna show you before I actually put the water bottle up there and start. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about a snap cut. So you can either, here's where it's gonna be. You can either swing, just completely swing, or you can swing and then snap cut. So you can do this, snap. And that's what I like to do. So, and then there's also this, like a super short one. But this is what I'm going to be doing. Okay. So, yeah, let's see. This was much cleaner. Okay. And then last, I'm going to try to get the cap. I'm going to try to cut the cap in half. See if I can do that. No, not quite. All right, let's give that a go again. It's a thicker bottle. All right. Oh, wow. I hit it with the tip. Yeah, almost went through, but not quite. Okie dokie. That's basically it. So any questions, suggestions, let me know.